Guard land in your county?
Well, I'm certainly glad to see them here. We've got a little problem with actually a drain pipe that goes through the levee system that seems to be seeping some water. And obviously what these folks from National Guard are doing is helping us out, because we're trying to get that seepage, blocked off, and where basically we don't have to worry about inundation of a road.
I know that the forecast is changing and everything, but as of right now, as the county judge, what's your biggest worry for your county?
Well, it's pretty obvious. It's like everybody else, impact on people's lives and, facilities and homes and buildings and things such as that. And, what we actually started preemptively when we knew it was coming, Thursday, we started telling everybody, check your boxes, check your levees. If you got anything that needs a little bit of help, we spent some 3 or 4 pretty hard days from daylight to dark taking care of what we thought might places maybe where we need a little Band-Aid help.
So how do you feel right now about the levees in your county besides this one?
Well, we feel pretty good because a lot of these levees were built in 1950. The part that always concerns you is the age of them. There's no question about that, and the maintenance of them. But the good part of them, the good time of the year, there's a tremendous amount of vegetative cover on these levees, and an event like this with all this water, that's definitely a plus.
Tell me a little bit, you are from Conway County.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about this river and what you're seeing right now compared to what you've seen in your lifetime.
Well, I remember very well the flood of '82, pretty catastrophic. Of course, it was river centered, but it was also, the county got one in a 24-hour period. It's about time they built the water supply lake for Conway. And they built that lake, and they said it'd take 3 years to fill up. And one night in December, and then in a 24-hour period, we got 15 inches of rainfall. So that was the magnitude of a flash flood. The good news is flash flood events such as this, not here in our back door. I know they're talking about some rain. We hope that's minimal, because we're in pretty good shape on the safe side. What we're doing right now basically is just trying to take, and like I said, situations like this, that's actually a drain pipe that actually is supposed to drain the water from the safe side into the river. Well, the river, where the river's at right now, within, 5, 6, 7 foot of the top of the levee. So, the water's doing things it shouldn't be doing. And the flapper gate obviously has got an issue or a problem with it, and that's, like I said, we want to thank the National Guard for being up here and helping us. I mean, we're going to drop those totes you see out there in the field until we plug that hole.
Absolutely. What about as for evacuations? The emergency director, he said that there were 5 homes that aren't full-time homes near Petit Jean.
Correct.
They were evacuated. But he also, even though he said there are no other places they think there will be recommended evacuations, that they still are offering sandbags here in the county.
Yes,
so kind of connect the dots for me. Do you think people should be grabbing these sandbags? What are you doing?
Well, if people are basically close to that, what I call, because what everything's based off of, obviously with FEMA is a 100-year base flood elevation. We have a floodplain ordinance in Conway County, as a lot of the other counties do too. And ours says 100-year base flood elevation. That's the base benchmark plus 2 foot. In other words, 2 foot above the 100-year base flood elevation. Once they achieve that goal, then pretty much, we can't stop anybody from doing anything. Basically they take and they, get a surveyor in there, survey it and say, it's good, what we've got going on here. This probably is not your typical, I'm obviously pretty confident this isn't a 100-year event. This probably is the magnitude of something way over a 100-year event. This is something, I said it and I'll say it again, the magnitude of this probably is 1927. In 1927, this levee system you see here didn't even exist. So nobody, I guess what you've got to really say, we got a pretty halfway ideal, but nobody knows for certain what, where, or where it's going, because a lot of what we're dealing with is a massive amount of water, a lot of what I call backup water. You've got a lot of headwater down the Cadron, but you're gonna have, it's just gonna be kind of like a balloon blowing up. It's gonna expand, and Army Corps has done a pretty good job of giving us a look through LIDAR at a flood inundation map, but a lot of that backup is going to be, obviously, it's going to be, it's going to be backup water, but still yet doesn't change the fact you can take backup water and you can wind up with it in your home too.
What would you say to people, actually let me rephrase that. Agriculture, that's a big thing around here. These fields are flooding already, and is that your biggest concern here in the county, or what would be your biggest concern at this?
You know, it's all the way around. Your heart bleeds for the agricultural industry because a lot of these folks have not been able to get in the field. Some of these folks have gotten in the field on some higher ground and got some crops in, but you know, when you look at this thing all the way around, you know, anyone potentially it impacts, because I can't say it enough, you know, what we try to base our structures and everything we do on is our floodplain ordinance, and it says, you know, 100-year base flood elevation, elevated 2 foot above the 100-year base flood. And you know, and I'm going to say it again, what we've got going on is not your typical flood. Very, very uncommon. The last, in 1982, when we had the really bad flood, Interstate 40 at Blackwell went under. The road closed for a day or two, 3. In this event right here, you know, what we're looking at, what the Army Corps is providing us with as far as an inundation map, that's probably going to happen again. And if you take and get a chance, you can walk up on top of that levee and look over, there's all you can see is water, and lots of it. And when you really look at the map the Corps puts out, the drainage area of the Arkansas River, what's so unique about it, the bulk of the drainage area of the Arkansas River lies in Kansas and Oklahoma. And those are areas that you can see what's happening with those folks. And that drainage area, as you come down the river, it's like a big old funnel, then it works its way down to the little part of the funnel, and the little part of the funnel is, guess where? Arkansas.
Is there, to sum all this up, to wrap it up, what is your message to people who live in your county?
Be vigilant, pay attention. If you think you need some sandbags, Highway 113 out there by our county road shop, I think the bagging crew's back in there, you know, but anything you think you can do, you know, we're here to help. And, you know, the biggest thing is trying to gather up some volunteers. Because that's a chore, yes ma'am.
Where do you need volunteers?
Well, I got a call from a gentleman today, and he's got a nice plantation style home on Alden Murray Road. And of course, gentleman's built a really nice facility. It exceeds 100-year base flood elevation, but because of the event we got going on, he's going to need some help, because if he doesn't get some sandbags there, he's probably going to take on some water.
People that want to help, how can they help? How should they show up at the department, transportation department? Should they contact the county office?
If they'll contact the Office of Emergency Management, that's the best way to get a name and a contact number to let us know, hey, if we can help, we'd love to help.